Welcome to Might in Motion, where we help you navigate your personal and professional goals to manifest them into your deserved career and life path. Here at Might in Motion, we don't make excuses, we do the work and go above and beyond. The Might in Motion podcast brings you guests that will help stretch you out of your comfort zone and push you to improve your goals. Like, comment, and share. This is Might in Motion. Hey, good evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're catching this. I am Mariana with Might in Motion. We've got a great topic this evening. We're going to be talking about how do you create more time, which, as my daughter says, you can't really do. But there are tools out there to help. Without further ado, I am going to welcome back to Might in Motion, Alana from Carbon. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you, my friend? Good to be back.
I know. I'm so excited to have you back. And I saw your Instagram post. So for those of you that don't know, about an hour ago, she was working out. She was sweating it out. And then she's transformed into this beautiful goddess that we have in front of us.
The phone booth, and I stepped out like Superman. The area was right on the other side of this wall. So, you do what you got to do. Get it in when you can.
That's right. That's right. It's exciting. So
that's how we do.
I'm so excited to have you back today. I know that what we've got coming up and talking about different tools that are out there, you have leverage because you have not only been an employee in a prior life, you are a business owner now. You hire folks, and it can't all be you anymore. That's the only way you can expand is to expand, right?
You got it. Yeah. And 3 years back, it was just me. I was wearing all the hats. So when we talk about making more time for yourself from a business owner, the small business owner, the solopreneur, if you wear all the hats, you have no time. You have no time to scale, to do other things, to work on your business because you're busy working in your business.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, I just changed everything. That's when I put the workflows in place, the systems in place, and started to get into the virtual assistant arena, which was totally new for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really, really cool. So I'm going to share. I know you put together a quick little slide. Maybe we can share that now. And just so you know, for those of you that are joining us, you can actually put in comments. We will see the comments post on our side. And that's the best way for you to interact during these 30 minutes, right? We want this to be interactive. So if you've got questions that pop into mind, pop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. So tell us a little about this virtual freedom that you talk about here.
Yeah, Virtual Freedom is a great book. So I probably read it about 3 years ago now, and it touches on a lot of virtual assistant stuff, which was a new space for me. And there's a site called onlinejobs.ph, which is where I've hired my virtual assistants, and they're all from the Philippines.
Okay.
Which again, totally new to me. I hadn't thought that was an option, hadn't thought to do it. It is the best decision I have ever made. Whether you are a small business owner, the solopreneur again, or honestly, just somebody that might benefit from a virtual assistant, this is a fantastic space to go. You could get somebody for $5 an hour that has a master's degree and insane credentials. So it is an incredibly hardworking, loyal, dedicated, wonderful culture. My virtual assistants, I really don't know what I would do without them. There's a term, if we get into online jobs at PH, called OFS, Online Filipino Specialist.
Okay.
So that's kind of sort of what the terminology is instead of virtual assistant. But we can talk about that, how to onboard and train them, and then kind of just, touch on what people can start doing today. There's probably nobody that wouldn't benefit from having a virtual assistant in this day and age.
So what are some of the things that you have them doing for you today?
Oh my gosh. So when you hire your virtual assistants, it's good to hire kind of in buckets. Okay. So if we think of the small business owner, think about all the things you do during the day and then try to clump those together. So I have one OFS, right, on design. So creative emails, banners, I have one person that's in operations. So they do a lot of project-based work, a lot of reporting, interfacing with clients. I have one person on communications on social. So we manage reviews, we answer questions, comments. We kind of take care of the community management piece for our clients on social. As we run ads, people have questions. They
Yep.
handle that. So it's incredible. It's just incredible. And my next hire will be somebody that kind of actually is running the ads.
Oh,
So with
wow.
hire, if you think of these buckets, it's kind of better to overstaff. Start with hiring the person that would help you the most, and take a little bit off your plate. But don't overload them and think you're gonna or think you should get one person to do everything. One person that's going to do social ads and Google ads and
Yeah.
copywriting, email and reporting. It's overwhelming. At that point, they begin wearing all the hats,
Yeah.
which you don't want. That's what you're trying to get away from. So hiring in those buckets is really important.
How do you ensure that, who you're bringing on matches the culture of your company? Right, and that they've
Yeah,
got that same work ethic that you have, the same drive you have. And I know, as I work for a big organization. I have to hire on a regular basis when there's openings, and the one thing I interview for is culture fit, because you can
sure.
teach people the how to's, but you don't always have the ability to teach somebody how to fit into the culture that you're building.
You're so spot on. You're so spot on. When I hired mine, so we'll kind of fast forward, a little bit through the application process. We have a video call. So we just start, there. So once
Yeah.
I kind of narrowed my subset down, we had a Zoom call. So they could get to know me, I could get to know them. Once I got, the feel like, okay, I think they're going to be a good fit, we do a 2-month paid trial.
Hmm.
Uh, During that time, again, making sure it's a fit on both ends. I think that's so important when we hire people, just like you're saying, the culture. We want to make sure it's the right fit. So we have a 2-month paid trial. At the end of that, we reevaluate. Is it working for me and the culture of the company? Is it working for you? If
Yeah.
so, great. And on we go. But I think with that, it's initial gut feeling from somebody. But then I think that trial period is really important. And that's something most people that you would hire through online jobs are used to. They're kind of expecting
Yeah.
some kind of a
Yeah.
trial.
I mean, even like in corporate America, a lot of times people come on as contractors first, right?
Sure,
And that's
sure.
a great way to be able to determine, does this individual really match the culture of the organization?
Yeah.
Is that trial? Yeah, that trial period. Yeah. Did you look at just VAs in the Philippines, or did you look at a broader subset?
I just looked at the Philippines. So after reading the Virtual Freedom book and looking at onlinejobs.ph, which again, encourage anybody to do that, even if you have a big business, to just spend some time there. There's a blog there that goes over everything, a lot about the Filipino culture. They have something called the 13th month. So there's all these little things you kind of learn along the way. The 13th month is a 13th month of salary that they're paid on
Okay.
December 1st. So if you hire somebody annually for the 12 months on December 1st, it's part of their culture to get something called the 13th month. So at December 1st, they get, it's not a Christmas bonus or holiday bonus. It's
Right.
it's kind of baked into they're kind of expecting of it. So there's some little intricacies like that you'll kind of learn as you go. Online Jobs has training courses you can download. They're, 47 bucks or something to kind of go over step by step how to hire somebody. But once I learned about it, it was like, this is the closest thing probably to a magic bullet, the silver
Yeah.
bullet. This is it. This is the most powerful untapped thing I have found to date.
Nice.
It's
That's
incredible.
awesome.
It's
That is
incredible.
awesome. And I said that whole quote of, you have to expand, right?
Yeah.
And so you weren't doing this a few years ago. This has obviously allowed you to expand your time, right? But I'm assuming you wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't impacting your bottom line too.
Yeah. Well, it's freed me up. So now, as I have these systems and workflows in place, and I have one
Yeah.
person on reporting and one person on this and one person on that, it's allowed me to now take on more business.
Yeah.
So even let's say that person's at 50% capacity, 60% capacity, even 30% capacity. Great. Because
Hmm.
once they learn stuff, now all that space is full to take on new business.
Yeah.
In documentation, this is the other thing. So the way I've trained them is create a video, send them the video, they watch it, they document it in Slab. So now
Hmm.
I have SOPs. I didn't have any of this stuff. I didn't have time to
Oh,
do any of it.
wow.
So they've created all my documentation. So now I have all these assets,
Yeah.
all these workflows and processes. So once I outgrow or come maybe 20% to outgrowing my current team, I can bring someone on. All the documentation's ready to go. There's onboarding stuff, there's procedure stuff, and they can kind of mentor each other. So
That's
my
great.
current team can now help the new team members. We use Slack. That's primarily how we communicate. Everybody
Hmm.
checks in at the beginning of the day, signs off at the end of the day. We have channels for all different projects, so it's wildly powerful. So yes, it's totally impacted the bottom line in a great way. I started a second company this year. I could not have done that. No way.
Yep.
Had I not freed up my time from this. That's been very time consuming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it helps the bottom line. It frees you up. You can do more. You can expand. You have a greater capacity. Even stuff like this. No way, even jumping on this with you, Mariana, I could not have
Right.
probably done this 3 years ago. I
Right.
literally didn't have the bandwidth. I was going crazy from, morning till night with not much time, not much
Right.
time in the middle to do anything but
I
keep
feel
up.
you on the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we had a great question that just came across from Ed, and this was around the time difference, right? So, and I'm sure my dog is going crazy in the background. It wouldn't be a virtual call without a dog barking. But can
I
you
love
maybe
it.
walk us through how you dealt with the time difference?
Yeah. So their culture is used to working overnight in many cases because a lot of people in the Philippines do remote work for U.S. companies. So even though they have their own holiday calendar, which we observe, most of the U.S. holidays uh, are not holidays there, and the time
Right.
difference not a problem. So my team right now starts at 5 a.m. My time, which
Okay.
right now it's an exact 12-hour difference. So it's 5 p.m. their time. So their shift right now is 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then I'll be
Okay.
hiring somebody when they get off at 1 p.m. our time. I'll be hiring somebody else that's probably like a 12 p.m. to TBD. I got to figure out what that end time is, which would be their overnight shift.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. So a lot, and that's just about finding the right person. And that's a little bit of trial and error. Are
Right.
you asking them questions during the hiring? How is the video call? Do they seem awake and alert and put together? Like whatever time you want them to work, that's a good time to have that call to kind of
Hmm.
verify they're up and they got it going on. But they're used to it, so it's problem at all. Not a
That's
problem at all.
fantastic.
Great question, by the way. Great question.
Yeah. So when we were chatting right before this, you had mentioned another book. It was the cash flow quadrant.
Oh,
How do you
yes.
think about that and how this fits into that?
Cash flow quadrant. This is a phenomenal book, right? This is my 3 years of book mania that I've been going on here. Cash flow quadrant. This was eye opening to me. I think this was one of the first videos, Mariana, I did last fall
Oh
when
yeah,
we kind of started meeting and like joined the den.
yeah.
I think this was one of my first videos, and I was like blown away when I found out I didn't own a business. I owned a job, right? So the cash flow
Mm,
quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, E, S, B, and I. E is employee. So you are an employee
mhm,
of a company. S is small business. You own a job. B is big business. You own a company. And I is investor. Most
mhm.
people are in E or S.
Yep.
So you either have a job or S, you own a job. And that was like
Mm,
mind blowing to me because I went, oh my God, I don't own a company. I own a job because it's
yeah,
me. It's just me.
yeah.
So when I realized that, it was like, it was devastating, but also exciting at the same time because I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I kind of have a business and a company, but it's just me. So I guess I do own a job.
Mhm.
Uh, you think of like the built to sell model. If you were ever going to go sell your company, nobody wants to buy a job. They want to
Right.
buy a business.
Yeah.
So if you couldn't go sell your company today without you involved, it's not really a company or a business. You have a job. You own a job. So that's where the virtual assistants came in play even more, where I was like, okay. I got to get this together. I have to get all of my systems and workflows in place. So now I can go hire and bring someone on to do those things and be
Right.
very systematic about it. Uh,
Right.
but this was like eye opening. This is a book everybody in business should absolutely read this book, even if you're an employee.
Yeah.
It's a totally different mindset.
Well,
Totally.
now it's on my list because, I have this, I'm looking over at my stack over here of books.
Oh
It
my God.
never seems to actually go down to zero, which
Oh
is
yeah.
okay. But I wrote this down on my list to make sure I add it to my book reading list because I
Yeah.
do think it's important to think about what are those different mind shifts that happen as you move through those quadrants. Because to your
For sure.
point, you're going to fall in one of those four quadrants throughout your career. And in many cases, you may be falling into multiple ones. And even if you're an employee, you still may be an owner, right, of a business as well. So it's
Sure.
kind of, you've got all these different layers, right? And I can't wait to dive into that. That'll be another one I'll pop on my list to
Yeah.
read because I like the idea of, and I challenged my group as well. It's just like, how do you think about things differently? How do you take on that different mindset? So, especially as you're shifting, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you're so right. Most people are in multiple quadrants.
Yeah.
Even if they're an employee and an investor, they might have some investment properties or some different
Hmm.
investments. So
Yeah.
yeah, most people fall in multiple quadrants.
Yeah.
But it's cool to read, like you're saying, even people on your team, to have it just
Mhm.
expand your mind to kind of think a little outside the box of
Right.
what we're
Right.
doing.
So you use the virtual assistants, but I also know you use some different tools as well. So this I might be like throwing you a curveball. Don't know, but
No,
you
no,
are big in
do
social
it.
media. You
Yeah,
do some really cool videos. I'm always just like in awe of either your editing prowess. I don't know if it's you, or are you
I love it.
leveraging other other resources to be able to can go after what's trending in social media and how to get your really quick reels and message across like you do so well.
Oh, good question. So when it comes to the tools and the editing, as of right now, I am doing the editing in terms of filming it, doing all the
Hmm.
cuts, putting some music um, over it, overlaying the music. The one I posted today for ours, I did
Hmm.
today, so I shared it. So when I added the captions, it was just the normal Instagram captions.
Yeah.
However, I hired somebody through Fiverr
Okay.
who's also overseas
Yeah.
to start adding some more robust captions. So the video I did for our last video, and I think one other, I think they
Hmm.
were both related to our call,
Yeah.
had some kind of cool text, like the typical text you kind of see in the videos. So I
Yeah.
found something in Fiverr that adds that for 15 bucks. So
Okay.
after I edit the video, add the music, I ship it off to them. They get it back to me in 24 hours. So that I'm starting
Nice.
to, now that I again have freed up my time, I'm starting to kind of improve that.
Yeah.
So even Fiverr is a great resource for people. I
Yeah.
mean, to find if you need something kind of quick, the virtual assistance is like every day. You get that's more full time, but
Hmm.
Fiverr's a great spot for kind of those little those one off projects. So
Right. And
I did
it
that.
frees up your time. It's still your message. It's your content, but you're not the one having to go in and be like, "Well, I'm going to cut it here and let me add this music and whatever the case may be." So I think that's awesome that you've been able to leverage
Yeah.
uh, just a whole other resource.
Yeah, and that's the next step. So, and a lot of people are really good at doing this. Kind of the big guys and gals on social,
Yeah.
just recording themselves for like 2 hours.
Right.
So whether it's on your phone, you set up your mic and record yourself. So now you have 2 hours of content. You probably could get think of 60-second videos or 45-second clips a ton. You could probably make, you know, even if you only get 60 clips, right? You record for 2 hours, you get half of that, you have 60 clips now you've made. Even if you get
Right.
30, great.
Right.
You made a month of content in one day. So that's going to be one of my next things I do, where I'll still kind of do the little lives and all that, but just kind of talking about stuff and then sending that to somebody
Yeah.
and have them take it from there. Have them do the editing, the splicing, the music, and the captions, and then I'm just going to get files back.
That's
And
awesome.
eventually, a virtual assistant will take those files and they'll be uploading them to social for me.
Right.
So I want them to
Right.
do that.
Right.
So it's like, but you got to start somewhere. I couldn't have started at that place last year. I'm not even at that place now.
Right.
So it's like, just dive in, do what you can do. My den intro video was 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes. Okay. 10 minutes. And I'm like,
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry.
no,
No,
you should.
but like I can see,
It
I
was
can in my
ridiculous.
mind. I'm sure I did not watch your intro video, but like if I did, I was like, okay. But like you were probably doing
But
a lot of
yeah,
this, and a lot of this, and it was
you know
just
how
too,
we go.
yes,
We get
yes.
talking and I'm like, but
I love
I
it.
paused and I thought, I mean, it literally could have been 10 separate videos.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I've condensed it. So now
Mhm.
I'm really kind of going to that like 45 to 60-second thing. But that
Right.
was a huge thing of why I joined of the den was to do
Yes.
video, to get on camera. Hadn't been on camera really before last year in years. So I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta do this. I gotta get better at this. I gotta get back in my groove. And now
Hmm.
you look at my 10-minute intro video to where I am now, it's
It's
pretty
light
awesome.
years.
So,
Right.
yeah, I
Right.
mean, so it's just practice makes perfect. And your videos are great too. I mean, yours are
I'm
awesome.
not polished like you. You will see my hair even crazier than it is right now, and I'm okay with that
Listen,
because that's
it's
me.
cool, it's raw, it's you, it's the message. They're awesome. They resonate. I
Right.
love them. I absolutely love
Thank
them.
you.
Crush
Thank
it.
you. And
Crush
it's
it.
fun because I think when you go somewhere, we're talking about the den. We mentioned that a few times. So for those of you that don't know, we're part of another coaching group called the Lions Den with Sean Whalen, and one of the requirements is that you do post an intro video, which is great. And he does some in-person events, and I think my crazy hair is people knew who I was just because it's just so
I
big. So
love
I'm
that.
never allowed to cut this crazy Italian hair. So um,
We all need our look, right? I have my
right.
green strip, my puff, this like if I wore my hair down all the time, people probably be like, "Who are you?" I'm sorry,
Right,
who's Lamar?
exactly.
So, rock it. I love the hair. It's very you.
Was there anything else on the virtual assistants that we didn't get to? I could pop up the slide again if there's anything you want to highlight from that.
Yeah, I guess, if anybody is looking to hire, right?
Mhm.
Again, we'll go down the list. Small business, solopreneur, even if you have a big business, I really go to onlinejobs.ph and just check it out.
Yeah.
You can look at it for free. If you want to start hiring people, it's $99 and then you cancel it when you're done. So it's kind of like a job board. And one tip I would offer is to kind of do some proactive outreach. So if
Okay.
you're looking to hire for let's community management, right? Some Facebook or community management. Uh, you could post the job and people will apply to it, or you can proactively search for people, review their profile. Everybody has kind of a score rating, ton of stuff to dig into there, and then you can send them a message and invite them to apply.
Okay.
I started doing that after hiring my first few because I just found it more effective. So I
Right.
was handpicking my candidates instead of getting flooded with 50 or 100 resumes, which you will. I mean,
Yeah.
people on the site are looking to work, so you will get flooded, which is great because especially in today's culture, I mean, people are having a hard time hiring.
Right.
You get flooded with resumes, but if you do that proactive outreach, great. You pay them also through online jobs, so it's
Okay.
kind of like a version of PayPal. So when you log in, you hire them through online jobs. There's a payment dashboard. Because they're overseas workers, they're not employees of yours. They don't even need a 1099. So you can
Oh
still
wow.
deduct it as a business expense, but there's no 1099. So that's great. Onboarding and training, videos, Slab, and Slack are the three programs or the three methods I've used, super successful. So I would just direct people to onlinejobs.ph. Definitely read Virtual Freedom. It's a fantastic book that
Yeah.
really kind of helps you better understand the Filipino culture, how virtual assistants can help you. Very powerful. So I would say start those two places.
That is awesome. I think that everybody now has some really great takeaways and tools to be able to start taking action. And I really, so we do have one more question actually that just popped through. So Adriana was asking, do you have multiple assistants or just one that does it all? And then we talked about this earlier on. about having multiple assistants where they're focused on segments of what you need done, right? So
100%.
not that person that does every single thing, but somebody that might be focusing on a certain segment of your needs. Did I get that right?
You did. And hi, Adriana. Hello, girl. Uh, yeah, 100%. Adriana's just started kind of her new business. So look at what you're doing a lot of right now that you
Yeah,
could outsource to somebody else, but not everything. So you want to kind of put it into these buckets. So, you might have somebody monitoring your social channels, doing your posting, monitoring your reviews. There might be somebody else that does your design. There might be somebody else that interfaces with clients, right? TBD. But if you think of it in these buckets,
yeah,
that's the best way to hire. Because otherwise, and we did talk about this at the beginning, that person ends up wearing all the hats and will
yeah,
become just as overwhelmed as you. So
yep.
hire for the stuff that is the most time consuming, kind of like that 80-20 rule.
Hmm.
Like there's 80% of stuff that we do that's just time consuming, but it's like the 20% of stuff we do that actually moves the needle and
Yeah,
produces the revenue and moves us forward. We want to be doing that stuff. The 80%, outsource it. So start with kind of whatever tasks that are most time consuming for you. Hire for that in these
that's perfect.
buckets.
Perfect, perfect. Well, I know we're getting towards the end of time, and I don't see. Let's just scroll just to make sure we didn't miss any questions. I think we got all the ones that were posted, but you may be watching this on a replay, or you didn't type in your question fast enough. So, just want to share there are multiple ways to get in touch with both of us. So we have our 3 Instagram handles there. Drop us a DM. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn because obviously we're going live in LinkedIn. So we're both
Yep.
tagged on this event. So please don't hesitate to drop us a note. We love these conversations. Elena, I am just so excited to have you back. It was great to see you, girl.
Yeah, you too.
Appreciate you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And everybody out there in internet land, you do the same.
Thank you for tuning into Might in Motion. If you learned something about motivation, momentum, mindfulness, or might, please like, comment, and share. Thank you.